inside source, apparently, they got a hold of a sworn affidavit by a detective in the Broward Sheriff's Office, which talks a lot about what happened in this murder. So we want to share that with you. Now, Xxxtentacion was murdered Monday in Pompano Beach, Florida. One person has been arrested in that murder investigation, but authorities are looking for other suspects. So let's talk about one detail that has come out that is being reported is that reportedly Xxxtentacion struggled with his killers briefly before they shot him. And from the details we're seeing in this affidavit, it looks like this possibly was some sort of robbery attempt gone wrong. But let's look at the details now. So according to the New York Times, the killers of the rapper Xxxtentacion were tracking him in his last moments on Monday afternoon, following the rapper into a motorcycle dealership before shooting and robbing him in his car less than half an hour later, according to court documents. So the New York Times apparently got a hold of this affidavit. In a sworn affidavit, Detective John Curcio of the Broward Sheriff's Office, who's investigating this murder, described detailed evidence taken from video surveillance, including images of orange sandals worn by one of Xxxtentacion's killers that led to the arrest on Wednesday of Dedrick Williams, 22, on charges including first-degree murder. So more will come up. We'll talk a little bit more about those orange sandals in a moment. In this sworn affidavit, Detective Curcio says that Xxxtentacion, an influential 20-year-old rapper whose real name was Jasse Onfroy, arrived at Riva Motorsports in Deerfield Beach, Florida, at 3:30 p.m. on Monday with an unidentified friend. So that right there, as far as I was aware, he was alone when he went to the Riva Motorsports motorcycle dealership on Monday. But this sworn affidavit says he actually arrived there with an unidentified friend. Now, just 2 minutes later, 2 minutes on Monday, after X got to the motorcycle dealership, 2 men got out of a dark sport utility vehicle and followed the rapper into the store. Again, just 2 minutes after he went there. One, now this is kind of really crazy. One, described as wearing a white tank top and bright orange sandals, bought a mask at the parts department paying cash. So, again, this is kind of strange. So, Xxxtentacion goes with a friend to this motorcycle dealership at 3:30. 2 minutes later, according to this court document, 2 men get out of a dark SUV, and they follow him into the store. And then one of the men buys a mask at the parts department of the motorcycle shop. So apparently they sold masks at this motorcycle shop, and he bought a mask at the parts department. Now, I wonder, was he wearing that mask later? But they followed X in, and then one of the guys who followed him in bought a mask at the parts department paying cash. Anyways, let's continue. Maybe that was just something to do to make it look like they were there doing something. The 2 men who followed X inside the store then left the store, and they moved their car to the north gate of the parking lot, where, according to the affidavit, Xxxtentacion tried to exit in his BMW at 3:55. So about 20 minutes after X got to the store, he leaves and he tries to exit in his BMW, but then the SUV blocked him. And the 2 men, now masked and armed, stepped out of the car and demanded property. So the 2 men that followed him in to the motorcycle dealership and then left before him, and one of them bought a mask at the motorcycle dealership, he tries to leave, X tries to leave, an SUV blocks his car, and 2 men masked and armed step out of the SUV and they demanded property. After a brief struggle, the victim is shot. So that's very important too, because that says, according to this sworn affidavit by one of the detectives, that Xxxtentacion did struggle with his killers. They demanded property, there was a brief struggle, and the victim was shot. the men removed a bag. Rumor has it that's a Louis Vuitton bag. The men removed a bag from X's car and drove off. To identify the assailants, police sent images from the video. So there was a video of these two men who followed X into the dealership, into the motorcycle dealership, and then they ended up approaching his car after and ultimately shooting him. To identify these attackers, the police sent images from the video to patrol units. Now, examining Dedrick Williams' Instagram feed, police found recent pictures of him wearing the same or similar bright orange sandals. Now, let me show you those orange sandals. I think TMZ had a shot of that. Because the security camera that day had him wearing sandals at the motorcycle dealership. And he was also wearing sandals in the picture. Let me show you the picture here. So TMZ published a picture today where he's also wearing orange sandals. Here's the picture right here that they published. There you go. There are orange sandals. So police saw surveillance video from the motorsports shop where X was killed, and they saw one of the suspects wearing these sandals, and then they saw the same sandals being worn by this man, Dedrick Williams, in social media photos. So you can see, as TMZ says, there is a surveillance video from the scene of the crime, and according to the warrant, Dedrick Williams was wearing a white tank top and bright orange colored sandals. His Instagram and Facebook accounts show a photo of him wearing orange sandals. So supposedly, according to the New York Times, this helped them track down Dedrick Williams and identify Dedrick Williams. He actually was the one arrested a couple nights ago and charged with murder, but they're looking for other suspects. So, to repeat, to identify the assailants, police sent images from the video to patrol units. Examining Dedrick Williams' Instagram feed, they found recent pictures of him, I presume like this one, wearing the same or similar bright orange sandals as in the surveillance video from the scene of the crime. Employees of the dealership, Riva Motorsports, where this happened, also identified Mr. Williams, a tattoo artist who appears to have ties to the local rap scene from photographs. So Dedrick Williams, who was arrested, was also identified by employees of the motorcycle dealership. The affidavit was dated Tuesday. Wow, so that was a number of days ago. All this information was in this affidavit. It makes no mention of what happened to Xxxtentacion's friend.